Hi guys, this is going to be a part two. I'm gonna run through quickly what we've covered so far. So we have Hermit, 10 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, we have Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands, Page of Wands, 7 of Cups, 5 of Cups, the Death card, the Lovers, and 3 of Cups. And then I'm gonna pull one more card to complete this spread. I wanna talk about the meaning of what I'm seeing. So right now you're in a time where you are in a period of reflection. There are answers that you're looking for, and you can be feeling kind of perplexed. You can be feeling a bit unsure. There can be like I'm trying to make sense of something, I haven't totally made sense of it yet. Having the 10 of Cups be there, this is about how there is a sense of fulfillment when the situations that we're involved in, when the exchanges that we're involved in, the interactions that we're involved in align with our values. And then having this Queen of Wands, there can be this feeling of, I want to feel valued as I am now. And what can be happening currently is that there are situations that you've been in where you can feel like it may no longer be holding enough space for you. There may not be enough. You can feel like you're sort of, it's reminding me of how when you are doing the starter for bread, how it'll like start sort of bubbling over if the container is too small. I feel like a container within your life, and this feels in a way like a social container, has become maybe a bit too small and you're sort of bubbling over. And what are you supposed to do with that extra stuff that's bubbling over? Are you going to try to like push yourself back down and like force yourself back into the container? Or is this going to be a time where you realize that you're going to feel a true sense of connection and joy within a sense of longevity, if there is an honoring for you as you are, you within your authenticity, and maybe you feel like some things like you're a little bit out of place currently. I'm not saying that you're out of place, but that can be the feeling of like, maybe I've been around this person or these certain people, and I feel like they see this side of me, but there's also another side of me that I'm stepping into now. Not that that's not real, but also this is real too. And it can be a time where we're developing new relationships, or we want to, or we have new interests that feel important to us. And so it can be a time of discovery. And what this can mean too is that when it comes to the things that you're involved in that you can feel like they no longer align, like it's more mismatched, those exchanges are mismatched, that an ending is going to have to come. You're going to have to close those things out because it's turning into something else, and you only have so much energy. You only have so much time to give. You only have so much energy. You have limited resources here in 3D when it comes to the physical life that you're playing out. And so if there are only 24 hours in a day, like how are you spending them? You don't just have endless hours in a day. Who are you interacting with? What do those interactions look like? Well, how are you spending your time? Do you feel like it's a good use of your time, or do you feel like you're doing things and you think that it's going to leave you feeling a sense of connection and joy, and then you're left feeling disappointed because it didn't live up to your expectations? So this feels like I'm looking at something that I had been doing that I keep walking away feeling like something's missing here, or I know that it can be better than this. Why is it like that? And it's showing you where there's stuff that the scales aren't balanced any longer. And this feels like it has to do with you and how you sit within your relationships, how you show up within your relationships. And this feels like it can be a bit of a stressful time, or a time that's taking more energy when it comes to social arrangements that you have, because it feels like if I used to connect with this person or these people in this way, and it used to be like everything that I needed, but now I'm realizing that I have other needs, or maybe some different needs, and this only meets like 40%, what about that other 60%? And I'm gonna have to find out like where I can connect. What else can I plug into? But that also means I'm not gonna spend 100% of my time here, maybe only 40% of my time here, and I'm going to spend 60% of my time elsewhere. And so that changing now, where I had been doing 100% there, but I'm shifting, there can be that whole like people don't want the change, or then there can be tension within different relationships that you have, or people are like taking it personally. There can just be a whole thing that's happening right now where not only can this be challenging for you to make these changes on your own, but then like the social pressure, then the pressure for you to be consistent even when that's not your truth anymore. Like, you've always done that. Like, what's wrong with you now? Why do you want things to be different? But you feel within you something is changing, something is shifting, because you're evolving, because you are growing, because you are understanding yourself on a deeper level now. So there's more of a sense of intricacy and nuance when it comes to the things that are going to feel like they sit well with you and sit right with you. And I think too that there is a desire to feel seen, because we have Queen of Wands here, and if Queen of Wands wants anything within their relationships, it's to be able to show up within your authenticity and be loved for that, to be accepted for that, to be honored, for you to be able to show up and to be witnessed within that space, and for there to be a sense of connection, for there to be a sense of support, that you're not just alone, that yes, you are your own person, and that you also have that sense of support around you. And it looks like you're stepping into a time where that's more of what the focus is going to be on. This feels like a more social focus for you, where maybe before you were feeling like maybe that's who I was before, and now I'm stepping into this energy and this feels more true to me. Or I'm just growing up now, and now I'm realizing that I have this other side to me, and I don't feel like this is the place for it, and I think that somewhere else might be. This doesn't mean that you have to like end things totally, unless you feel like it's absolutely like not an equal equation by any means. If you feel like I'm giving my energy here and getting zero in return, those can be the things that you look at and you cut them off, because it's a dead end now for you. Like, it's not a type of exchange where it's a one-sided thing, which makes it not an exchange, like by definition, when there's not that reciprocity. So you can be looking over things, and there's also going to be this coming to terms as well with, like, I used to feel happy doing this, or I used to feel seen doing this, like in a whole way, but now that I'm going through these changes, it doesn't feel like that anymore. And there's also the coming to terms with that like my feelings are changing, like the resonance is changing, the tune is shifting, and then how things within the environment have to shake out in order to rebalance that for you. But right now you can be feeling like I'm being called, there's something that I want to explore and honor within myself, and you can have mixed feelings about this, and you can also still be making sense of it as well. Like, where am I supposed to be then? What am I supposed to be doing then? What's calling to me then? What do I want to be up to? And that's basically what's being figured out. I get that this is going to be broken down in a couple different ways. I think that this is going to challenge you emotionally, when you have to stay true to yourself emotionally and not take on energy that's not yours, of other people being like, no, stay, like, please do the same thing, don't change it up. But you know that's not your truth anymore. How do you work with that? How do you manage that? How do you hold space for other people's emotions and still be able to do your own thing here, and not be so totally manipulated, or like manipulate yourself essentially by feeling like you need to go then meet other people's needs, and then you're neglecting your own. So we're ending with King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this is just all about stuff that you are basically coming to terms with. It can be stuff that you feel like you're not totally seeing yet. I think that there's a lot that's going to be going on. Like, I get this thing again with social pressure being involved with this. that there can be some things that you're holding on to that they actually don't totally align any longer for you, but the part of you that's having a hard time accepting that can still be telling yourself a different story, and then it's not allowing you to see things clearly, and that's something that's being worked through. So you can even be trying to see, like, what's getting in the way of me seeing this clearly. So it can be a time when you're breaking that down too. It's also a time where there's a coming to terms with how you're feeling, where there's a recognition that some things don't live up to your expectations anymore, and that's telling you stuff about your values. It's telling you if you're putting your energy into something, if you're investing your energy into something and you're feeling disappointed, left feeling disappointed, it's telling you that that's not aligned for you to be investing in like that anymore, and that a change is going to have to happen. And for some of you, some stuff is going to have to stop. But you can still be making sense of this as well. That can also still be something that you're coming to understand your feelings about too. I don't think that everything needs to make sense right now. It feels like you're just in the process of clearing out anything that is blocking you from seeing things clearly, and that's what's happening here. Anything that's not allowing you to see the truth of this situation, whether it be like resistance or like I don't want to accept that, or I'm just feeling really sad about this right now, and so I can't even like pay attention to how I'm feeling in a different way. It's like all of that stuff that's being processed through, but this is a process. It's gonna take time. It takes energy to move through this more than anything, because it doesn't have to take a specific amount of time, but it will take time because we're in time right now. But more than anything, this will take your energy to move through. And I think that there are choices that are going to be made socially that feel heavy to be making. There's stuff about your social life that's shifting, and that can feel heavy to be doing, that can feel stressful to be doing. Because there can be places where you feel like you're wanted, but that you're not seen. And you may want to sort of migrate a little bit more towards, and that doesn't mean you have to cut things off completely. It can mean, like I said before, if you feel like 40% of your needs are being met somewhere, you can spend 40% of your energy there. And then the other 60% is going to be like those other places where you get your needs met, but you have to make sure that you're correcting the equation because something has shifted now for you. So you just like have to make it make sense mathematically, energetically speaking. And that's what you're in the process of doing right now. That's what's going on. And this is about change that's being cultivated within your life. Psychologically, this comes to you and getting into a more true place of self-expression for yourself, where you want to show up in that way and be seen in that way. And it has to do with your relationships and relationship values. Because there is self-inquiry that's happening, there are layers being peeled back, and you are exposing more of yourself to yourself. And when that happens, you get to know yourself better, and you see more about qualities and about values and about what fits for you. So it becomes more of like a common sense thing for you. Less even like a choice and more like this matches this. And less like I'm choosing this, even though like ultimately it will come down to you making a choice. But it's kind of like when what's the game? It's the game where you have those cards and like all of them are facing down and you have to find the ones that match. Basically that's what you're doing here. Stuff is shifting now for you, and you have become a different card, and now you have to find what your matches are energetically. And that also means too, like, you don't match other stuff anymore. It's not a match for you any longer. And this is a good thing. And I think seeing this as like, wow, I'm evolving, I'm getting more clear on myself within this lifetime and understanding this and my values and my preferences and what allows me to feel like like I'm involved in things that really do feel worth my time and that it does meet my needs, and I'm left feeling a sense of connection. That's what's happening. And I think too, this whole coming to terms with what you feel like in letting go of this, I'm letting go of this, and I'm surrendering these attachments that I have. It feels like that is the biggest thing. I'm hearing the word mosque here. This feels like there's a big heaviness of, you can be feeling grieving right now, you can be feeling a sense of loss right now, and that can be feeling overwhelming, it can feel heavy. And when you're going through a time when your emotional support system is going through a shift and you're going through a stressful time emotionally, it can be like, where am I supposed to turn when the thing that helps me regulate is the thing that I can't really rely on right now because it's going through a shift. So it makes more independent work for you to be doing. And that can be a lot too. So, and we're starting off with Hermit, which shows you in a period of like more solitude and more isolation and reflection. Lean on the things that are able to support you. And when you lean on something and you start falling and realize that it can't support you, take note of it. It's going to be an important time to pay attention to that, okay? What's underlying all of this is the emotional work that you're doing moving through this. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.